You asked and we answer. This is Hope Meets Banter Q&A. Let's start with the first question. We've got one from Carlos Hanaway. He asks, has Sancho surpassed Rashford already for a place in the front three of England along Sterling and Kane?
Yep. Oh, well, I think it's all down to Southgate. For me, I think like it's very easy to say that he surpassed him, but you have to look at the different systems. The system that England plays is very different from the system that Dortmund plays. So I think that if Southgate can accommodate Sancho, Sancho can give you a lot more than what Rashford can give you. But I just think that Southgate has a much more balanced, pragmatic setup, whereas that in Dortmund it's much more attacking. There's a lot more speed. It's a lot more wanted. It's a lot more quicker. So again, would Sancho be able to work well in the very different system that Southgate has?
I think it depends. Rashford generally does well for England, though. So I think he does better for England than he does for United. If we see the same England that played against Spain and Seville, then I think Sancho would play very well in that system, because that was devastating. You saw how quick they were from back to front. I think Sancho would work very well in that. But I would like to see Sancho given 90 minutes in this game against the United States. Too often we get these players and we're excited about them, and then they get 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And we never really get to see him. Just throw him in, see how he does.
I don't want to come at this and people go, oh, it's because you're a Liverpool fan. I think Rashford is a bit of a hype, if I'm honest. I don't think he's a bad player, but I think he's a bit of a hype. And I think this is what we do in England. We get like carried away when a player shows any good form. We're like, oh my God, this guy, like, is Rashford like...
I mean, tier 3.
Sancho was a better player than
Rashford. Is he 20 yet? I think Rashford's still 19.
No, Rashford was he was 19 when he came through, so he was
17 when he came through, bro. He was 17.
Not when under Van Gaal.
No, when he broke through, he was 17.
No, I'm sure he wasn't.
He was 17. I'm telling you.
Either way, they're around the same age, right?
Yeah.
Either way, they're around the same age.
Sancho's younger than him, but
no, but I mean, you know, like if you're between 21 and 18, you're kind of in the same bracket. Do you know what I mean? I personally think Sancho's just better than him. Full stop. Do you know what I mean? I know they're a bit different as well, because a lot of people will say that he's like a striker, and then some Man United fans will go,
he's 21 now.
He's 21.
I told you. But then there's a few Man U fans that go, no, he's not good enough to be a striker, because I can't even work out what Rashford actually is.
Yeah, I think that's the problem as well.
Sancho is just an all-round better player, in my opinion, and I think he's on better form. He's proved himself abroad, meaning he'll bring some culture with him, which is what England need. You know what I mean? Like, I think the England team need culture.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, even like when Hargreaves used to come over, you could tell he brought a bit of something with him. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like, I'll go Sancho over Rashford.
All right. We've got another one from Jack Andretti. Hope I'm pronouncing your name right there, Jack. What is the most interesting thing about football as a whole? Very general question, Jack.
Wow. Bloody hell, that is...
What do we love about football? The hooligans, the fights, yellow cards.
The best thing about football overall is the emotional control it has over grown-ass men.
Is that why you're still not in the WhatsApp group?
Anyway.
Sorry, he said one thing for like a week.
Like, you can be the most normal, rational, kind human being on the planet, and if your team loses, you become the biggest asshole in 90 minutes. And that's what I love about football. It just changes people like that.
No, for me, I think it's one of those things where, like, especially when you watch a game that's a lot is riding on the game, it's on like anything in the world. Like, literally, because if you just think about it, it's 20-something grown men trying to get a ball inside a fishnet. That's it. How do we get the ball inside a fishnet?
Sound like my missus.
Yeah. But there's just something about it that, especially when something is on the line, where this match really matters, there's something absorbing about it, where literally your heart is beating, you're sweating. I remember the time when Nigeria played against Spain, and I literally almost ate an entire pillow because I was so like nervous and everything, and I pretty much screamed, and then Nigeria Denmark happened, and then I basically cried, whatever. So, so basically, no, just as what he said, the emotions you go through in a game is unlike anything in the world. Unlike anything in the world.
No.
Yeah, the best thing about football is watching Tottenham lose.
All right then. not bitter, are we? That's fine.
No,
Okay.
I'm not bitter. I just hate them.
Do you know,
Alright.
so, but just before we move on, when Liverpool won the Champions League final, I wish
Allegedly.
that we had I wish I had a recording of that whole day, because you would have seen how close I came to dying.
Didn't you kick the man out of the house? I tried to.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And I nearly passed out about 14 times. I nearly had 4 heart attacks. Like, I don't know how I stayed alive. Like, I genuinely
I'm
don't
glad
know
you
how I
did, and I'm
stayed
glad you're
alive.
here. Okay, Jack, if you want like my peace of mind very quickly, I love football because it's 11 players on the pitch, and I do team sports myself, volleyball, 6 people, and it's so tough to think as one when you're 6. I cannot imagine how tough it is to do this when you're 11 people, and I have incredible respect for all the players out there doing this, being one person, one team thinking the same, doing the same thing.
That's a good point.
So well.
Unless you've got Theo Walker on your team.
Unless you're Tottenham, apparently, according to Devo.
If you've got Theo
Okay,
Walker, it's 10 plus 1.
next question. Aldo AG, thank you so much for sending in your questions. Aldo wants to know what you guys think of the European Super League that is being discussed to happen in 2021. Is it a good or a bad idea?
Great idea.
Having big games every week would get boring or not?
What?
Fair
I'll let you
question,
go
Aldo.
first, and I'll explain my
One thing,
Go first,
one
go
thing I
for
really
it.
don't understand about this league is how can it be a league and then you have 3 teams who are immune from relegation? How does that work? How can you you 3 can't get relegated, but you're going to be in it all the time. The rest of you might get relegated. What kind of foolishness is that?
Oh, I heard no one can get relegated.
No. There's 3 teams I think who are immune from relegation, and then they invite some teams to play in on a season or whatever. But some teams
I
can get
didn't
relegated,
know.
and other teams can come in. It sounds like
Listen, this is the biggest piece of horse shit. Let's just get it real. All you want to do is catch up with the Premier League. And I'm not saying that in a cocky way. I think the rest of the world is pissed off how much money the Premier League has, so they feel like they want a piece of it. Because let's be honest, the Premier League don't need no one. The Premier League doesn't need no one. In Spain, only Barcelona and Real Madrid get the money. If they was to come out of that league, more people would have attention on other teams. Same with, whereas with the Premier League, we just have everyone just putting money in, all the teams have money, and everyone wants a piece of it. Plus, as a fan who has to travel God knows how many hours round trip it is whenever I go to Anfield. Imagine if it's just a normal league game and now I've got to go Italy, now I've got to go Spain, and then like 2 away games in a row, and now I've got to go, you know, it's full. Like, who's going to be able to afford these tickets?
All the people that they invite to
stupid.
come and watch it. It's
No,
not
I
gonna be
mean
for
the
real
normal
fans.
fans.
Yeah, it's not going to be
like,
for real fans, is it? It's
well,
gonna
then
be for
what?
sponsors
But that
and
makes it
whatnot.
even worse.
Sounds
Nah,
like
it's
an
stupid.
announcement.
I think the idea of having the European Super League is a good idea.
The fantasy of it.
In terms of you get to see all the best players play against each other all the time outside of Champions League, blah blah blah. But the actual reality is ridiculous. It doesn't
Just
work.
go into edit mode on
doesn't work.
Football Manager and just make a league and just play it and be like, this is amazing, and then come back to reality.
Well,
Right.
personally,
LH.
I am in support of European Super League because this is the reality. This was always going to happen. Football was always heading in this direction. And I just think that you're looking at the amount of money that's being involved now in football, the amount of money that's being injected. Parity doesn't exist anymore. And you're seeing the richer teams further and further going from all the smaller teams. So for me, you know what? All you rich guys, just create your own league, have your own league, and be done with it. Because again, you are like, look at what has happened with PSG in La Liga, Juve in Serie A as well. Obviously, Bundesliga, that has changed a little bit. If Pep, as long as Pep is in the Premier League, they will win every single Premier League title. It just depends how long he wants to be in it. So I think that
That's just one little period, though.
Okay,
bro.
so let me ask you another question. So the European Super League goes ahead. These guys will go off and make their super. What happens to the rest of the teams in the leagues that are left behind?
have your league by yourself, fine.
Yeah, but okay. So who's going to watch those? Where's the money going to come?
That's not my
what's going to
problem.
happen is what's going
I'm
to
talking
happen?
about reality.
No, it is your problem because
No,
what
it's
will
not.
happen is these teams will end up dying out, and these leagues will end up dying out, and you'll just be left with this one Super League. That's it. So what about all the fans of all those other clubs that can no longer watch their team because the money's gone out of football?
It's just the reality, man. I'm sorry. Bro.
And then you're taking away
That's
fighting
right.
for European like qualification,
It's
the
reality.
buzz of it.
Guys, football is heading this way.
No,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no,
It's
no.
heading
If,
this way.
if football
That's
gets
reality.
like that, there'll be a part of me that will die.
Oh, no, 100%.
It
I
would
don't
be
know
the
what is gonna
worst
happen.
thing.
People are making too much money for this not to happen.
You said you don't like it, but it's gonna happen. But before you said
100%.
you support it,
I support it.
but you don't like it.
So basically,
Inevitable.
three things.
Inevitable double A.
I support it.
Walking contradiction.
I support it. I support it because I support reality. I live in Zion, not the Matrix.
Right.
I don't love it because I like to be called a football purist. I'm trying to remind all of you people here that this is the reality of what is going to happen. Football is heading this way because money.
Yeah.
money.
is.
And
It's
you
all
support
about
it
the
because
money.
that's what's gonna win.
What's that?
You support it because that's what's gonna win, not because that's what you actually feel. You just don't want to be on the
All
losing
I'm
side.
saying is that I want to see Nigeria win the World Cup at least once before.
But will
but
that
you-
happen?
It's
No,
like
with
that.
just Super
you
League.
just said you live in reality.
How would it happen if we get
Alright,
the Super
let's
League?
not get mean here. Let's not
You
get
know,
mean.
no,
Alright.
none of the young Nigerian players will get to play in a league that
won't be,
matters, and then it will mess everything
It won't be
up.
well.
You know,
Alright.
and just quickly before we finish, if this does happen, even if Liverpool are involved in this, I still want this to happen. If you piss off and go and play in this Super League, and then this league crashes and it doesn't work, when your ass tries to come crawling back and say, "Oh, I want to play in the Premier League again, I want to play in
You
Serie A,"
shutting the door?
then you have to go and start at the bottom of the fucking pile, like
Oh,
Division
man.
2 or whatever, like, and work your way up. And let's see who wants to play for you then, and if you can afford 400 grand a week for a player and all that
Alright,
bullshit.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Carlos, Jack, and Aldo for sending in your questions. Please keep those questions coming. We're always really happy to hear from you. Thanks.